Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Have you attended the presentation that way?
Good afternoon, Professor
So that
Dinesh.
time it was not visible.
Okay. Uh, should I give the presentation once again?
You can give in brief description of it.
Okay, fine. I will hurriedly rush through my presentation that way.
Yeah.
The topic of my research was impact of music therapy in the management of stress in paramilitary forces through hematobiochemical assay. So, since time immemorial, we have and we know the importance of music in our lives, and in our scriptures also, it is said that even animals would sacrifice their lives because of the music played by the hunters. Great Tansen, also known as Sangrit Samrat, he was the courtier and Navratna in the court of Akbar. We know the ballads, we know the stories, a number of stories where great Tansen would indulge in getting things done through music. We have Tibetans where the bells, chimes, the bowls, and chantings would lead to spiritual solace and all. Egyptians also have their god called as the Apollo god, Hippocrates, and similarly, Joel Robertson, he had proved that if there is any problem, the doses of the medicine could be reduced after administering the music. So it is a non-invasive type of therapy where one can reduce the stress. Reduce the doses of the medication already being done. Talking of stress, there could be stress basically means the physical, mental, and emotional response to the event that has an effect on our body and mind. To just put it straight, जब दिमाग दिल को दबाव उत्पन्न होता stress is positive stress where one is goaded towards performing and increasing his efficiency. So here we are not talking of eustress because eustress and for that matter stress in our lives is a daily affair. We have to have stress. That is way we are able to lead a better life and we are able to achieve more and more in our human endeavors. What concerns us is de-stress. But here we will keep on talking as stress only. Stress is a major concern more so because it has the negative aspects physically in terms of headache, backache, fatigue, and various physical problems. Mental, of course, there are a whole lot of lack of concentration could be a side effect, then increased errors, the poor decision making, unusual bold steps could be taken because of stress in our lives. There could be irritability on small little issues, then unusually silent behavior. A person who having enormous stress often goes in a silent mode. So these are the side effects of stress. That we have seen that more than 400. Why? The issue is you might be asking why we are dealing with the stress in armed forces, and why this topic of mitigation of stress through music therapy has been taken for security forces. If you see that graph along this side, we have seen that more than 400 people have committed to suicide, and more than 44,000 of our jawans and officers, they have took to voluntary retirement, means pre retirement. They have proceeded because of the stress in our lives. You, sorry, am I audible, please?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah. Talking of, if you see the data over here in the graph, there were more than 119 suicides. Similarly, it got steadily or marginally increased, and ultimately during probably the COVID era, there was a huge spike, more than 137 per year, got reduced to 136. And in 2023, there is till now we have the data of 71. So we can see there is a huge lot of stress-related suicides in the security forces. That was our effort to see that we are able to minimize stress through music. That was the core purpose of our study. We do have, it is not that we have undertaken this study for the first time. There are a whole lot of initiative being taken in CAPF, the Central Armed Police Forces, whereby we have some stress counselors in paramilitary forces. But the stress factors remains the same, and there is invariably no change as far as suicides are concerned. Uh, During the previous studies, we have seen that there is a possibility where music therapy could reduce stress. And that is how we wanted to inculcate in CAPF, so that we are able to some way handle the stress issues in security forces. We know that through music we can reduce stress and anxiety. We can also improve the mood and cognitive functioning of individuals. Similarly, physical health can also be improved um, by administering the music. Significant means findings have been shown that earlier various papers have shown that there is a definite change in behavioral patterns in after administering music in individuals. Talking of as hematobiological assay, we have taken it. So why the question arises why we have referred to blood samples only for knowing the stress levels. Well, it is easily accessible whenever there is a problem in human beings. We and the doctor would only say that go for a blood test. So blood test basically it gives a clear indication of our health parameters. That is why we took it that way. The blood parameters and the various parameters were taken so that it could give a clear indication of stress in human lives, and more so specific to Central Armed Police Forces. So diagnostic tool, of course, it is clear indication of abnormalities in the body conditions. Talking of physiology, yes, of course, there is. We will show in subsequent slides how physiological changes have occurred after putting the soldiers to music. Brain-body connection, of course, talking of human and mental health conditions also improves. Biophysical parameters were selected mainly to see there is a body and mind connection, so that the complete health parameter and metabolism seems to be improving. Similarly, changes in psychological parameters like stress, anxiety, mood can directly impact the biochemical outcomes. And of course, it gives a complete health assessment also. While going for this research, we had a clear objective to evaluate stress, anxiety, and depression amongst the CAPF personnel. We were to also, as an objective, to analyze the psychological parameters, biophysical parameters, as well as biochemical parameters. We had also as our objective to see that and assess the cumulative effects of music therapy on overall stress. We also tried to determine the effectiveness of music therapy in enhancing the work efficiency of our soldiers. And as an objective, we wanted to send some recommendations to the government of India, whereby those recommendations could be adopted by government to mitigate stress among the CAPF personnel. During the research, we have referred to more than 400 books and research papers to see and assist our complete research talking of music therapy and mitigation amongst the soldiers. To start with, what we did was we created a questionnaire of around 65 questions to assess if a soldier has some stress or not. The questionnaire was sent to them online through Google Form. And after analyzing the questionnaire, we could see that 468 of our Jawans had serious stress indicators as far as the questionnaire is concerned. So these 468 personnel and the soldiers were put to various. Um, they volunteered, of course, for our hematological tests. So target group was initially, as I said, was all the CAPF. Just for the knowledge of the audience, that way I would only say there are total 7 CAPF, starting with the Central Reserve Police Force. They call themselves, and I also belong to Central Reserve Police Force that way, and we are called as peacekeepers of the nation. Similarly, Assam Rifles is strictly not a CAPF, but for some limited purposes, they are CAPF, but it is a paramilitary force. There is a difference between paramilitary and CAPF. I think we can, uh, for the moment, uh, proceed. Talking of BSF, they call themselves as the first line of defense. They are deployed all along the Pakistan border as well as Bangladesh border. CISF, we see them at airports, we see them at metros. Similarly, ITBP is deployed all along the Chinese border. NSG, once again, it is 100% deputationist force, and you tend to call them as Black Cat Commando. I myself has served as Black Cat or in NSG uh, earlier. And we have SSB, the Sashastra Seema Bal. They are deployed along Bhutan and Nepal borders. So these were the target groups and where we started with our study. But ultimately what happened was, just to share, we landed up with my force, that is Central Reserve Police Force, because most of the volunteers do not came, never came forward after the initial survey and the questionnaire. For the purpose of music therapy, what we did was we chose Rag Bhairavi to be administered to our soldiers. So these uh, whatever songs were based on Bollywood songs as well as religious songs. This is the list of songs what we had shared with the soldiers. They were told to listen. We have a patented mechanism where they have to listen either through headphones, or if at all they are uncomfortable with the headphones, they would listen to the speaker with a distance of around 12 meters, and for multiple sessions. The complete briefing and the instructions was passed through a online seminar held with the Jamans, and this is how we told them to listen music, and various instructions was passed through each and every volunteer. You can see they are putting headphones and listening to the music, and this was the seminar, online seminar taken by us, me and Dr. Chandra, my supervisor and my guide. So after this thing, they were conducted with the various biological tests. Blood samples were taken. Similarly, ECG was taken, EEG was taken, and this is how they were totally analyzed through departmental facilities. And if some of the facilities, as far as hormonal aspects like thyroid and all, that was sent to the government hospitals of the districts. It was a very exhaustive study where each and every blood sample has to be analyzed. And this analysis was on 0 day, then 30 days, 60 days, after a period of 60 days, then 90 days, and finally the complete music administering and thereby studied at 120 days. So you could see there was a complete, long, elaborate process where they were subjected to around 120 days of music therapy. Results and observation, you will see that they were very encouraging. Like we could see at a 0 day, when they were tested, the number of people having anxiety was 228. But after 120 days, the low level of anxiety was only it increased, means 427, below average. See how the data has improved. Similarly for stress, similarly for depression. There is a quantum leap and quantum improvement in all the data as far as the parameters are concerned after we subjected them to music therapy. You can see the lipid in blood. After, let us say, 0 day, we had the histogram clearly indicates how the number were more, and finally it got reduced to a very comfortable level. Similarly, blood cholesterol. Once again, we can see there is a marked decrease in cholesterol level also. Triglycerides, see, there is a drastic change. And after 120 days, there was minuscule level of triglycerides in the target volunteers. Similarly, for blood pressure, systolic and diastolic, once again a marked improvement. Then talking of respiratory, it was a marginal decrease, but once again, it is very substantive. Talking of ECG, once again, there was a reduction in ECG volunteers one lot. EEG that there is a decrease in level. Talking of our findings, we
Please unmute yourself.
am I audible, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Now you are audible.
Okay. So There was significant findings. There was a improvement in the mood level. There was an improvement in anxiety, the stress factors, and other things. I'm not able to come to the.
Sir, your screen is not visible right now.
Yeah, that's what there is some problem. I will need some technical help. This Zoom is new to me, basically. That's why I've been working on Google Meet and all. Uh, just a minute.
Okay, sir. Please keep continue.
No problem, sir. Please
No
continue.
problem, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So there was a clearly improvement in various parameters as far as the blood samples were concerned, and we could clearly establish there is a correlation whenever an individual or a soldier is subjected to Rag Bhairavi specifically for that matter, there is a marked decrease in various parameters, hematobiological parameters that way, and that is clearly established, and that was the core purpose of our study. Talking of the complete study has been analyzed and documented, and we finally want that few recommendations should go from our side as a part of the byproduct of the research, whereby these findings will go to the government of India with a request and recommendations for that matter, and these recommendations will include improvement in the working style, improvement in leave policies, improvement in transfer policies of so that we are able to some way mitigate the stress amongst the soldiers. The purpose is how far we are able to reduce the stress related um, problems in our soldiers. You could imagine a soldier is away for leave and stay with the family is around 70 to 80 days out of 1 year. Around 10 months or so, he is away in conflict theaters, fighting with Naxalism, fighting with militants, and the vagaries of various aspects. And this will definitely lead to stress where he is not even able to talk, or he is not even able to see his family. There is a plan where we will be indulging in a special protocol, yoga protocol by Morardi Ji Institute of Yoga, that has been devised and that will be soon implemented. Purpose is to mitigate the stress amongst the CAPF. So finally, these recommendations, and these are around a complete paper will go to the Government of India, the Ministry of Home Affairs. Let us see if these recommendations are implemented, and probably we are able to some way reduce the number of deaths due to suicide and fratricide. As you have seen in the previous histogram, that there is a more increase during the COVID days, and now the graph could come down. So we will be suggesting the complete recommendation so that things are taken in good right stride, and we are able to look after our soldiers well. That is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, anything coming from your side will be a great gesture, and I think it will be a great value addition to the complete affair.
We are welcome to queries if someone have.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I'm Professor Ramveer Singh. I'm calling from Mizoram University.
Yes,
Am
yes,
I audible, sir? So first
yes.
of all, I like hats off to you taking this type of study, because we know that our soldiers, they are in utmost stress, like they're related to the work stress and also stress which is related to the family back home. So, first of all, sir, my congratulations to you as well as my friend Professor Dinesh for taking up this study.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Ramvir. It is so lovely that you are connected with us in a very, very difficult state as of now, where you are getting connected, and we are very proud to see you here online with us.
Yeah, thank you, sir. No, I'm in Mizoram actually. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mizoram is a stable state. I think it
yeah.
is Manipur is having some issue,
Manipur,
but
your neighbor,
luckily
has
Manipur.
serious problems.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and
Mizoram is very very peaceful.
quantum of my force is deployed there over a prolonged period now. You
Yes,
could
yes, yes.
imagine the level of stress with them. And they do not have the basic facility, and both Naga and Kuki and both tribes are fighting each other, and we become the people to handle these conflicting situations.
Yes, sir. Definitely, I can understand because the topography, what I see in Mizoram, it is almost similar to Manipur. Very
Exactly.
dense forest, and we do not know actually where is the enemy. So generally,
Yeah.
like on the battlefield, when we know the enemy, it is easy to combat. But
Yeah.
generally, when we do not know where is the enemy, then definitely it is challenging.
Yeah, Mizoram was once again, it is peaceful now, but at one stage of time,
Yes,
things
yes,
were
yes,
difficult there also.
yes,
Tripura, once
yes, yes,
again, was very difficult. Nowadays, we find whole of Assam also peaceful. And credit goes to the CAPA for that matter and
yes.
Indian Army. That
Mm.
majority of the states have withdrawn the Armed Forces Special Power Act, and
Yes,
such a
yes.
huge momentum, a lot of people have sacrificed their lives in seeing this light of the day where Special Power Act gets withdrawn.
Yes, no, definitely, sir, definitely. So, sir, few like one, two query I was having, like being a teacher working in university and supervising students for PhD. Like you took 68 soldiers who were actually like for, yeah, I think Professor Dinesh want to say something for before.
Yes, Dr. Ramdev. Okay.
Yes, Professor Dinesh, how are you?
Yeah, fine. How are you? कैसे हैं आप?
I'm good, I'm good,
Good to
I'm
see
good.
you.
I'm good,
जी
good.
जी बताइए
So
सर.
one query I was having, like we have taken like blood from 68 respondents.
Yes.
So that biochemical study is done from 68 respondents. Like, do we have a negative group here, like negative control group, where like suppose these 68, I think 468 people were given the music therapy, if I'm not wrong.
हाँ.
So out of these 468, we did the biochemical studies with 68 respondents. So how many respondents, like equal number of respondent, or how many respondents were there who were not given musical therapy, and then we withdraw their blood and did the biochemical studies?
एक्चुअली हमने जो कंसेप्ट डिजाइन किया है वो पेयर टी टेस्ट कंसेप्ट पे डिजाइन किया है, अनपेयर्ड पे नहीं किया है.
Okay,
पेयर
okay,
टी
okay.
टेस्ट में हम एक ही सेम पैरामीटर को आगे लेके जाते हैं, क्योंकि ग्रुप
Okay.
चेंजेस हो रहे थे तो 0 डे से 0 डे इक्वल टू कंट्रोल ग्रुप, देन ये प्रोग्रेसिंग में आगे जाता है ना.
Okay,
जी.
okay,
और
okay.
रीजन 11,000 एंड 468 वो तो आई थिंक आपने एक्सप्लेन किया ही होगा कि 11,000 इसलिए था कि रैंडम डेटा था, फिर उसमें से आइडेंटिफाई किया गया कि उस ग्रुप में कोई एंजाइटी स्ट्रेस वाली रेंज में कौन से आ रहे हैं, उनको
Okay.
आइडेंटिफाई किया गया. देन उसमें जो सीवियर कंडीशन थी जहां पे मैं लगा के इनको, तो क्योंकि एक बहुत लंबे पैरा उस पर ब्लड टेस्ट करना बड़ा मुश्किल, ईसीजी ईईजी या बायोफिजिकल करना बड़ा मुश्किल काम था. तो जो अब एवरेज लोग आ रहे थे 68, उनको इस फाइनली ब्लड टेस्ट के लिए कंसिडर किया गया.
ओके ओके. अच्छा, इसमें मेरा एक और इनपुट था, जैसे मान लीजिए जब हम इनिशियली, बिकॉज इसमें इनिशियल स्क्रीनिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जिसमें हम ये इवेल्युएट हमने किया कि हाँ इन इतने जो हमारे सोल्जर्स हैं वो एक्चुअली स्ट्रेस में हैं. तो क्वेश्चनेयर के अलावा जैसे कुछ जो स्ट्रेस असेसमेंट टेस्ट हैं जो साइकोलॉजिकली लाइक साइकेट्रिस्ट या साइकोलॉजिकली टेस्ट साइकोलॉजिस्ट करते हैं, तो क्या वो टेस्ट भी शुरू में
ये जो इनिशियल 11,000 डेटा है ये भटनागर का टेस्ट है, साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट. जो भटनागर का डिजाइन टेस्ट है उसी को किया गया गूगल के थ्रू, मतलब हमने उसको रैंडम न देखे, गूगल के थ्रू करके एनालिसिस फास्ट हो जाए, इसलिए ये भटनागर एस्टेब्लिश टेस्ट है, जिसे फर्स्ट फेज का सैंपलिंग जो की गई थी वहां से की गई थी.
ओके. और क्या पूरी एक्सरसाइज में जैसे कोई क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट भी इन्वॉल्व है क्या?
नहीं.
उनको इन्वॉल्व नहीं
नहीं।
किया है।
देखिए रीजन क्या है, जैसे बीइंग हम जूलॉजिस्ट है, एनिमल साइंस या लाइफ साइंस को डील करते हैं, कई बार ये सवाल आता है कि भाई आपने म्यूजिक के बारे में क्या जानते हैं, भैरवी के बारे में एंड सो ऑन। हम उसके बारे में जीरो जानते हैं। जैसे जब हम काम करते हैं कि कोई पेस्टिसाइड का क्या इम्पैक्ट है, हम पेस्टिसाइड के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानते, लेकिन हम पेस्टिसाइड को देख के आउटपुट देखते हैं। सिमिलरली जो एस्टेब्लिश डेटा है, जैसे भैरवी पे बहुत ज्यादा काम हुआ हाइपरटेंशन के ऊपर, क्योंकि रिनाउंड था, उसको सेलेक्ट किया, अब उसको इनपुट देके, उसके बेस पे इनपुट देके हमने काम किया। हमें भैरवी क्या होता है उस पर बेस वो कुछ नहीं। हाँ, भैरवी एंड भैरवी से बेस जो सॉन्ग और वो है, वो सारा एस्टेब्लिश डेटा है, उस डेटा को हमने यूज किया है।
एक मेरा और छोटा सा इनपुट था, क्योंकि हो सकता है कि जो भी सब्जेक्ट्स हैं हमारे, जो रेस्पोंडेंट हैं, उनके ब्लड सैंपल हमारे पास अभी अवेलेबल हों। जैसे कुछ मार्कर इस्टेब्लिश हैं, जैसे कॉर्टिसोल है या सेरोटोनिन है, तो अगर हम इनकी भी अगर स्टडी अगर कर सकते हो तो आई थिंक ये डाटा बहुत क्लिनिकली प्रूवन डाटा होगा।
बिल्कुल। एक्चुअली क्या था ना, हमने कुछ तो पैरामीटर हार्मोन लिए जो, लेकिन जैसे सेरोटोनिन मार्कर है, डोपामिन मार्कर है, ये नॉर्मली जहां जहां आपकी पोस्टिंग रही है, हम चाहते तो कोई एक्स्ट्रा ले, उन हॉस्पिटल में टेस्ट अवेलेबल नहीं थे।
ओके
क्योंकि
ओके।
मोस्टली टेस्ट कहाँ किए गए हैं, आप जहां जहां पोस्टिंग रही है उन्हीं
ओके
हॉस्पिटल्स में किए गए हैं। तो जो
ओके।
वायबिलिटी उनको टारगेट किया है। लेकिन हाँ, ये नेचुरल सी बात है कि अगर डोपामिन, सेरोटोनिन और ये हम इनको भी लेके आते हैं तो हमारे इस टेस्ट को, स्पेशली इस टेस्ट में ज्यादा वो मिलेगा जो रिकमेंडेशन में पार्ट है। होपफुली गवर्नमेंट अगर आपको सपोर्ट करेगी तो नेचुरली आप आगे काम करेंगे कि उसी
हाँ
पर्टिकुलर
नहीं,
में।
व्हाट आई बिलीव ना कि हो सकता है कि जो ब्लड सैंपल्स हों उनका अगर सीरम अगर रखा हुआ हो, तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत डिफिकल्ट नहीं होगा
हाँ,
उसको
अब तो
थर्ड पार्टी
चूंकि
लैब से इवेलुएट करना, और एक
आपका,
अच्छा इनपुट आ सकता है
हाँ
इससे।
बिल्कुल आ सकता है नेचुरली, लेकिन वो डेटा चूंकि ट्रांसफर भी आप होते रहे, केवल रिपोर्ट्स हमारे पास आती नहीं, जैसे हमने गाइड किया वो रिपोर्ट्स हमको देते हो एक्सेल में, वहाँ के जो आपके अंडर सबऑर्डिनेट तो हमको दे देते थे, वर्कशॉप हम करते तो वो डेटा तो नहीं। लेकिन हाँ, एक नए सिरे से जो कि हमारे पास ये डेटा है, कौन लोग सीवियर कंडीशन में है, कहाँ से चेंजेस हुआ, हमको टारगेट करके, क्योंकि आप जो गवर्नमेंट को रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे, उस रिपोर्ट पर अगर गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट करती है एमएचए आपको, तो नेचुरली हम पर्टिकुलर उन्हीं पैरामीटर पर आगे काम करेंगे।
नहीं, बहुत बढ़िया। मैं तो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू सी दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टडीज, क्योंकि हम लोग तो ढेर सारी लैब बेस्ड स्टडीज करते रहते हैं, लेकिन इस तरीके की जो पॉपुलेशन बेस्ड स्टडीज हैं वो रिक्वायर्ड हैं इन चैलेंजेस को एड्रेस करने के लिए। तो
और
आई
ये
अगेन कांग्रेचुलेट जयदेव जी एंड प्रोफेसर दिनेश फॉर दिस टेकिंग अप दिस स्टडी।
थैंक यू। और ये पहली स्टडी है जो पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स पे इस कंडीशन से हुई है, बेसिकली मेंटल हेल्थ के रूप में। इसका टारगेट है
डेफिनेटली।
फिजिकल की जगह मेंटल हेल्थ ज्यादा टारगेट है इस टेस्ट का। जी सर, आप भी करेक्टेड हैं। सिद्धि सर, एडवाइस कुछ सर?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I was very keen to be the participant in this wonderful submission of a great person, and I must congratulate you for choosing such a wonderful topic, which actually India badly require. What is the actual stress among these kind of people? If you kindly permit, I would like to ask one very small query. Though I'm not the subject of microbiology or zoology, uh, I want to know what was the parameter of analyzing the stress among the people.
सर जैसे मैंने अभी बताया, भटनागर टेस्ट एक एस्टेब्लिश्ड है जो साइकोलॉजिस्ट द्वारा बनाया हुआ है। उस टेस्ट को हमने, उस टेस्ट पे कैलकुलेटिव वैल्यू आती है, उनके सेट पैरामीटर, देन कैलकुलेशन होते हैं, देन वो डिसाइड करते हैं कि स्ट्रेस है तो किस कंडीशन का है। 5 फेज होती है, एवरेज, एवरेज, लो, हाई, लाइक दैट, स्ट्रेस, एंजाइटी और डिप्रेशन के लिए। तो वो जो सेट पैरामीटर है, हमने उसी टेस्ट को यहाँ यूज किया है आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए। ये तो हो गया साइकोलॉजी वाला। उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए, है ना, जैसे लिपिड प्रोफाइल है या कुछ हार्मोन है, नेचुरल लिपिड प्रोफाइल का डायरेक्ट रिलेशन हाइपरटेंशन स्ट्रेस से हो जाता है, तो उसको सपोर्ट करने में हमारे जो हेमेटोबायोकेमिकल है, या जैसे अल्फा वेव आपने अपने डायग्राम में दिखाया होगा कि जितनी ज्यादा अल्फा वेव बढ़ेंगी स्ट्रेस उतना डाउन हो जाएगा ईजी में। तो इसमें दिखाया कि हाँ, ईजी के थ्रू अल्फा वेव का इंक्रीजमेंट हुई है। तो वो कंडीशन हमने उनको यूज किया है उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। लेकिन जो साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट है वो सेट पैरामीटर है, उस पर हमने किया जिसे और भी साइकोलॉजिस्ट इस्तेमाल करते हैं।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
so
you, sir.
Thank you.
I think Babli is there, musician only one.
Thank you.
म्यूजिक बैकग्राउंड से एक ही है। बबली, कुछ कहना है? ओके, थैंक यू। आप लोगों को वेट करना पड़ा चूंकि एग्जाम चल रहा था, तो वो अचानक डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया सिग्नल, और हमें पता भी नहीं लगा कब सिग्नल डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया उस रूम के, तो इसलिए दोबारा देना पड़ा। थैंक यू ऑल।
Thank you and congratulations to both Professor Dinesh Sharma ji and the candidate. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
दीप्ति मैम, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? ओके, थैंक यू आप सभी लोगों का कनेक्ट होने के लिए।
Congratulations, sir.
थैंक यू ऑल। थैंक यू टू Jaidev.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you that you have taken time off even on Sunday and you got connected. We never expected such a overwhelming response. We were thinking hardly people will be able to join because it is Sunday. And really, we are honored as well as we are overwhelmed with your response. Thank you so much. This has
Jaidev
made
sir,
a
I
complete
have
study.
joined only because today is Sunday. Otherwise, I would have not.
Nisa, and the topic was so interesting. I believe everybody would love to spare time for such a topic.
Exactly.
And thank you, special thank you to Professor Ramveer. You have given a lot of value addition and made this more discussion very fruitful, very enriching. Thank you.
Very good morning to all of you, and it is a very nice topic you have chosen for this, purpose. Dr. Ramveer, I have requested Dr. Ramveer to join us from Mizoram. He was
Yes, Dr. Arastu, how are you?
very fine. So I requested him. मैंने कहा आपको join करना है.
Definitely.
He said,
And when I saw the topic,
And he joined for
I was very happy.
and he joined for right reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a big center of Assam Rifles in Mizoram.
Yes.
Is having very big center of Assam Rifles.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Nice
Congrats,
interacting.
congrats.
Thank you everyone.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू। अब हम भी एग्जाम में जाके कनेक्ट हों।